What's up, traders? Andrew O'Connell with Pristine Capital. Welcome to another market recap video. It's September 15th, 2021. Please go ahead, click the like button on the video, subscribe to my channel. I know you want to, just do it. All right, today we're going to talk about the price action, the indices. We're going to go under the hood. We'll check out our sectors and style factors like we always do. And team, I must say it is good to be back. I was in Long Island, New York, visiting my family for 2 days. Unexpected trip back home 2 nights ago. Left at like 11 o'clock at night, got in at 2 a.m. and then was there for about 2 days and then headed back late last night. So I'm a bit underslept here. I'm definitely going to sleep like a baby tonight, but I must say it's awesome to be back, and it definitely makes me more grateful for just the Pristine Capital trading community, everybody that's watching these videos, everybody on FinTwit. There's this big financial community that's been put together, and it's just an awesome ecosystem to be a part of. Let's dive into the video, team. But before we do that, quick risk disclaimer: nothing in the video should be construed as investment advice or recommendations. Please follow your own trading plan, your own risk parameters. Last but certainly not least, don't YOLO your entire account to any one of my trades or anyone's trades for that matter. All right, let's dive in, team. I'm not gonna lie, I may have recorded this entire video before and my microphone was off. So let's dive in. All right, S&P 500, as measured by the SPY, closed up 0.84%. We had the NASDAQ QQQ finishing up 0.74%, and we had the IWM small caps finishing up 0.9%, our big winner for the day, followed by the Dow Jones dogs of the Dow, up 0.68%. I will add, we had amazing breadth today. We had been coming off a 7-day losing streak in the market, team. So 7 down days in SPY in a row. It rarely happens, and we rallied back very nicely today. So in terms of breadth, the NASDAQ QQQ was the best with 84% advancers. And then, coming in last place, oddly enough, is the small caps with 72% advancers. But overall, looking really solid in terms of market breadth and these indices. Heat map. You can see the same exact thing. We had some nice strength in the market today. A lot of these FANG names really came online. Facebook is the notable laggard. You can see we had Tesla up 1.52%. Microsoft was a big winner, up 1.68%. Yeah, really nice across the board. Energy was a top performer. Financials, investors were just getting back into the market. Or maybe just some short covering, maybe a combo of the two. All right, let's take a look. We're going to dive into the S&P 500. Let's take a look at what we find. All right, so S&P 500, check this out, team. So we are now trading above the monthly value area, which is awesome. We had this, as I said earlier, 7-day losing streak, and we tagged this 50-day moving average. And this was starting to look like, if we just continue to consolidate inside this monthly value area, then we're going to start trickling down, and we may end up testing this 43.79.5 level. This is great that we were able to actually push outside of value, but keep in mind, we're pretty much testing the top of this downward trend channel perfectly. So it's not like we're completely out of the woods, but I will say today's price action was definitely reassuring, and then also the breadth that it was coming on was also a bit of a relief. So let's take a look at this hourly chart. And yeah, funny enough, we're pretty much right at the top of this channel. And you can see after hours, it looks like we're seeing some strength. Next level to the upside that I'm looking for is this 44.92 weekly value area low. I would not be surprised at all if we tested that tomorrow. I think the real question is going to be, do we explode through it and end up closing inside of this weekly value area? Do we test it and just fail at that level? What's going to happen? But I would definitely say, I'm leaning towards the bullish side. I was in like 84% cash. I was not really invested in the market. And by the end of the day, I was fully invested. So yeah, a lot going on today. Let's check out our NASDAQ. NASDAQ looks even better than the S&P 500. This one never tagged the 50-day moving average. It just had a consolidation period, broke down when the market got really weak. But, the big breakdown was just to the 20-day moving average. So nothing crazy at all, no big correction. And we're already recouping a lot of the losses in the NASDAQ. Russell definitely one of the weakest of these indices. You can see we were stopped at this monthly point of control, and we're pretty much right at all the key moving averages. So yeah, we definitely have a lot of overhead resistance, and we're pretty much in no man's land on these small caps. And then last but not least, we have our Dow Jones Dogs of the Dow, up 0.78%. The Dogs of the Dow not looking good. You know, this right here is really just a consolidation that we're getting right around these recent swing lows. So Dow is definitely a laggard. I'm much more interested in the S&P 500 and the NASDAQ. All right, so sectors, getting a little bit deeper. So semiconductors are now in our top slot for momentum, up 0.58%. Energy is looking awesome too, up 3.74%. And then also very noteworthy, you know, we had these K-Web Chinese technology names that were the clear laggard today, down 1.62%. I actually traded some of those today, so we'll talk about that shortly. But check this out, team. Cannabis was our big winner for today, up 5.26% for the MSOS ETF. Let's take a look at some of these. So we'll start with these cannabis names. I'd actually mentioned, posted a chart for Pristine Capital members the other day saying, hey, we took out this downside VPOC here at 29.6. You know, call me crazy, but this could end up being the bottom. And I think this price action today might have just confirmed that. So what's interesting is these cannabis names, they're very strong fundamentally. They throw off lots of free cash, but they've just been in this horrible downtrend for a couple months. It seems like investors, you know, they pretty much said, hey, you know, the Biden administration, they're not going to do the full legalization like we may have thought. So pretty much every investor just left these names. So I think as a long-term investor, this is a pretty good opportunity. And I actually will be looking, you know, to potentially trade these tomorrow. Not typically something I would trade, but I think this is a pretty unique situation going on here. So yeah, very interesting. We have our semiconductors, which are, you know, remaining very strong, and it looks like they're breaking outside of value, which is great. And within this group, one that I really like the way that it's shaping up is Applied Materials. Check this out. So Applied Materials had a fantastic run in the beginning of 2021. Look at this. You know, this thing was just, you know, a freight train. And then ever since, it's been consolidating those gains for maybe 5 consecutive months, almost 6 months at this point. So now we're, you know, breaking out of value. This one looks really good. Take a look at the weekly chart. Just looks absolutely fantastic, where, you know, we're starting to curl up to the upper end of this range. No longer really overbought like it was in March. So we have those for our sectors. And then let's take a look at our style factors. So style factors, nice strength across the board today, team. So we had cyclicals at 1.19%. We had, what else do we have? Momentum up 1.34%, really strong. And then high beta even stronger, up 1.51%. So it just goes to show, you know, the broad strength that we had in this rally today. All right, let's take a look at some of my trades for the session. So yesterday, the only trade that I put on was I put on these SPY puts right off the open. And today I actually closed them 15 minutes into the session. So I paid $5.75 for those, took them off for $8.20. So really nice winner. And then I ended up taking some Crocs calls. Crocs looking really nice. Let's take a look at Crocs. Yeah, so this is the weekly chart for Crocs, just to put this in perspective. We take a look at the daily. So yeah, daily trading inside of this wick looking really good. So yeah, still holding my calls. I also day traded some Tesla. So I took some Tesla September 17th calls. And Tesla's looking pretty great too. I scalped out of those for a small winner. Then I ended up rolling my trade out to a call spread, the 760 by 770 call spread, expiring September 24th. This is another one where the market was pretty weak over the last 7 days, but Tesla didn't really miss a beat. So if the market starts to get stronger, I would imagine this name could lift higher. And then what else do we have? Oh yeah, so we had these Apple puts. I think this is a good, you know, learning opportunity here. So close these ones out for a loss. I paid $3.10 for these. I closed them out for $2.48. And I wrote here my initial trade location was poor, which makes this a tough trade to hold on to. And I'll show you what I mean by that. So Apple. I entered these puts on this candle on September 10th. And I must say I was a little bit late on the draw. There was the news about the case with Epic Games. You know, Apple would have to make some concessions, etc. I believe I entered this, you know, when Apple was losing the 20-day. So it's not even like I entered these, you know, on the low of the day or anything like that. But I think the implied vol was just so off the walls when I entered these, because we'd already had such a big extended range candle by the time I entered. So what I noticed was, even on the 13th and even on the 14th, Apple stock was moving lower, but I really was not making any money on my calls. That happens sometimes if you really just purchase them at the wrong moment. You know, the implied vol is so jacked up that, you know, you really need a big move in order to make money on those puts. So yeah, Apple today started showing some strength. I closed these out when Apple was still red on the session. But yeah, I was like, if these things aren't really working while Apple is leaking lower, I definitely don't want to be in these for the bounce. So yeah, close those out. And then what else did I do? Oh, I got long some Futu September 24th 100 strike calls for 380. What I noticed with Futu is that we're trading, you know, right on this trend line, and we tagged the trend line today pretty spot on. And I'm looking for a bounce off of this little trend line. We're making, you know, some higher lows here, liking the way this is setting up. So yeah, enter that one, you know, short-term trade. And then I also got more aggressive with my Pinduoduo position. So I added some of these October 105 calls to my existing position for $3.70. My average cost now is $4.95. And then I actually had a calendar spread in Pinduoduo, and I closed out the short leg of my calendar spread. So now I'm just long the November 19th 135 calls. Let's take a look at the PDD chart. So this one, you know, there were more bad headlines from China last night. You know, they missed on their retail sales number. This name was really slipping into the abyss today. It was down almost 5% at one point, and it tagged this 20-day simple moving average very nicely, you know, pretty much spot on. And then dip buyers came in throughout the second half of the session. So I just find it interesting. Almost every night there's bad headlines out of China. You know, China's regulating this, China's regulating that. They're cracking down on this. They're missing these economic data points. But these dip buyers are really coming in for these names. So this is the first back test of the 20-day moving average since PDD had this nice move off the lows from about 80 bucks, you know, all the way up to almost 100 in a single day. So yeah, first retest of the 20-day moving average. To me, that's okay. And I'm looking for a move up the right side of this base over here. I think it's definitely possible. We'll have to see what happens in the coming days and weeks. And then we'll take a look at some of my stock trades as well. So I did get long some Ethereum. Check this out. So cryptos are also starting to look really nice. So Ethereum, this has been one of my big winners this year. And I exited, you know, as this thing started to look a lot weaker. Because if the market's going to correct, you never know what can happen with these cryptos. But yeah, Ethereum has been doing the right thing. We have this consolidation down here, some long lower wicks. And it looks like we are pressing out of this consolidation. So this, you know, washout over here, this could give us the fuel that we need to actually make new highs in Ethereum. So yeah, reallocated to this. And then what else did I trade? So I added some Sentinel-1, which is this S ticker. Finished up 8.71%. This one I had a pretty good trade location. Entered this. Where did I enter this? Yeah, I got in at 64.25. This closed at 67.51. And yeah, this brand new IPO just retested the 20-day moving average, and we got a nice bounce higher today. And what else did I trade? Entered some Roblox, entered some Apollo. Roblox looks very interesting to me as well. because we're getting this basing pattern, but we're making a series of higher lows. So this is yet another higher low. And I think we could see, you know, a move again up the right side of this base in the coming days and weeks. So I entered this one via common stock. All right, team, before we wrap for the day, let's take a look at our VigTech options races. So let's pull this thing up. Where's my VigTech? I think I have it over here. Where is this? There it is. Yeah, so our VigTech options race. Let's replay it. So we have the S&P 500, the SPY ETF, Amazon, Tesla moving up to the top of the pack. And there are some interesting names on here, so let's check these out. And take a look at this one, IRNT. IRNT, this is this company IronNet. They just reported their earnings. This thing has been another freight train. Look at this, up 37.78% today. And yeah, they just reported their earnings. So this one could be setting up a nice power earnings gap setup. But look how parabolic this thing has gone. You know, the 20-day moving average is back here at like 15 bucks. But definitely one to watch. I'll be watching this one in the coming days. And then you can also see, you know, some big movement in Taiwan Semiconductor. And then Alibaba, everyone was buying puts on this one. TSM, let's check that one out. And TSM, I must say, I like the chart of Applied Materials a little bit better. You know, I think this one, you know, who knows, maybe somebody knows some insider info or whatever. Yeah, I think of this group, this is the one that I like personally. And then, of course, we have, yeah, just a lot of our usual suspects, you know, all the FANG names, some of the indices, and of course Tesla, which was a really nice performer today. So that being said, it is awesome to be back, team. Thank you so much for watching this video. Please click the like button, subscribe to the channel, and I will see you all tomorrow.